Thank you to Surfshark for supporting Mecha Gaikotsu by sponsoring this video. When it comes to Master Grade Gundam model kits, kitbashing really isn't as simple and straightforward as it is with modern high grades. As they come out fairly infrequently, a lot of the time they're designed from the ground up as unique standalone models. So in general, you can't just grab a leg off one kit, a body off another kit, and a head and an arm here and there off some more, and then just slap them together into a simple, no-mod custom. But back almost a decade ago, Bandai were squirting out master grade kits like nobody's business, all based off of similar frames and compatible parts, all perfect for an out-of-box kit bash. We've already seen a lot of the master grade wing kits on here, but it's about time the awesome MG Seed line got some Mecha Gaikotsu love. But first, this is Rin. She's opting not to go outside due to the global pandemic, so she goes to the internet for shopping, entertainment, and banking. But she's under the false pretense that she's safe.
I'm Spooky the Net Gremlin, and I'm taking a break from my hobbies of data theft, tracing, surveillance, and commercial targeting to hack your bank account. You spending more time online is just more opportunities for me to steal your hard-earned coin. But oh no, she's got Surfshark VPN with diamond-strong end-to-end encryption and malware filters ensuring safe online banking every time. Damn it! Oh look, she's resorted to shady unofficial websites to watch anime that's just released in Japan. Activate nefarious ads! Oh no, she's using Surfshark's clean web. That means she's surfing in a clean cyber ocean with no ad trackers, malware, and phishing attempts. No! I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that pesky Surfshark VPN and that Mecha Gaikotsu and his code MECHA that gets you 83% off plus 1 extra month for free. And because Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk to try it out for yourself. Link in the description below. I've been foiled again!
Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at the Master Grade Duel Gundam Assault Shroud. I've wanted this for so long. It even says down there in the corner of the box, 2012. I've been wanting it since then. And all I can say is, I am pleasantly impressed by this. Anyway, that's enough about the box, enough about the intro. Let's get right into it. So anyway, that right there is the Master Grade Duel Gundam Assault Shroud out of the box, just snapped together with the stickers attached on the lenses as usual, and some panel lining because I did actually build this one for fun, not for a review, but it's getting reviewed now. I absolutely adore the design of the Duel Gundam, especially with the Assault Shroud on, and before I actually take that all off and leave those parts for the accessories, I'm going to pop up a full 360-degree spin so you can check out all the angles, all the absolute awesomeness of this kit right here, and I'm going to mention the reason I love this mainly is that color scheme. I'm assuming that Metal Gear broke my brain back in the day, so anything that has that light blue and orange, Grey Fox or Metal Gear Ray kind of vibe just does something to the deep recesses of my brain that makes me go, that's a nice robot. But yeah, essentially this right here is Gundam Seed's answer to the full armor Gundam, and they did a fantastic job. This kit looks great. All of these Master Grade Seed kits do look great. And speaking of which, let's have a bit of a size comparison before we pull off that armor. So first up right there, we've got the Master Grade Duel Gundam Assault Shroud. Next up then, there it is side by side with the Master Grade Strike Gundam version remaster, an awesome kit. Next up then is one of my all-time favorite Master Grades, that is the Buster Gundam, solid as a rock. Next up then is the dark and awesome Master Grade Blitz Gundam, edgy and epic. And next up then, this is where it all began with this channel. This is the Master Grade Aegis Gundam, the first ever review I did many years ago. Last up then, of course, is the big, bulky and evil Providence Gundam. But anyway, we're gonna leave all this armor and all this stuff till the accessories, so let's get it off, and there is the Duel Gundam without the Assault Shroud. Anyway, once again, there is that full 360-degree spin of this without the armor on. So this is one of those kits that you almost want two of, just so you can display them side by side. And speaking of side by side, there they are side by side. No armor on the left, the armor on the right. So these both look awesome. It's one of those situations where I can't decide which I like better. Let me know down in the comments, do you prefer it with the armor, without the armor? And tell me why. To me, I think it looks so cool with both. But without the armor, it looks like an awesome, darker variant of the Strike. And speaking of the Strike, there it is. So this is a pair of kits that are incredibly similar to each other, which of course, from an anime perspective makes absolute sense, but from a model kit perspective, they do share a lot of parts, including pretty much all of the inner frame. So that means the legs, arms, head, etc. are completely interchangeable between the two, and a lot of the other equipments are just variants of each other. For example, there is the shield of the Duel Gundam, pretty much just a color swap, and there is the beam rifle. This is actually quite a bit different, but at the same time still quite similar, and it's those tiny little differences that I love. I love model kits that are very, very similar, yet have some nice differences, and that is exactly what these two are. If you're wondering, can you put the armor onto Strike right here? Not necessarily, because a lot of the attachment points are like what you're seeing here on the chest, so little slots. So it would require some modification and part swapping, but I assume you could make a full armor version or assault shroud version of this reasonably easily, but it's not something I'm going to go into in this review. He says as he starts fiddling with the parts to see if they fit. Well, that kind of fits. How about the shoulder thing? Can it fit up here? Oh, there's something attached on here already. What is this and why is it here? That's weird. I've got this tiny little gunmetal part up in there, and I'm not exactly sure why. That's peculiar. Anyway, back to seeing if this stuff will fit on up here without any modifications. So popping that up there, and yep, no bueno, doesn't fit. Now to put this tiny little gunmetal part back in here in case I put it in there for a reason. If you have any idea what this is, let me know. I'm not sure if I got it off the Master Grade Perfect Strike or not, but did I do that in another review? I do not remember. Anyway, moving on. But anyway, that is enough distractions. The Master Grade Duel Gundam is an absolute joy to look at. The color scheme to me is perfect. Orange, blue, and gray looks so nice. Once again, kind of with that Metal Gear vibe, a little bit, not so much compared to when it had the Assault Shroud on. The color separation and detailing is quite nice for something that is 8 years old. This has an ABS frame, which means it is solid as a rock. I love it, and this whole line is quite enjoyable. One thing that some people may or may not like is the blocky feet. What they've done on these Master Grades has made the whole line of OG Seed Gundams look a little bit more, well, homogenized, I guess. But without a doubt, an absolutely beautiful Master Grade right here. Oh, and just in case you're wondering about the stickers, they are just reflective stickers for on the cameras and eyes. So let's bang through the articulation of this guy before we actually put the armor back on, take a look at the accessories, etc. so we can check the articulation once again with the bulky armor on. So first off, the build of this is crazy. These ABS frames are bulletproof. Look at that. Look at that. You can shake the living hell out of it and it will not drop a pose. We've got a double jointed neck for that. Giggity 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 goo. There is it looking all the way up, very nice all the way down. This has a pair of molded Vulcans, or whatever they're called in Seed, which I adore. They are part of the inner frame, what it looks like. It's been a long time since I built this guy. As for the head, it can turn all the way around, and there is that side-to-side tilt, probably the weakest aspect of it. Inside the shoulders, we've got a forward and back movement in there that allows the arm and shoulders to move out towards the front, like you can see there. The usual 360-degree spin on that peg. As for the arm raise, there it is all the way up, so pretty good. The shoulder armor is separate to the arm somewhat, so it can move up on its own. Flappy up here. That full spin at the upper arm. There is that bend at the elbow, pretty much perfect. Beautiful. The wrist here is just a bog standard ball joint, so it does exactly what a ball joint does. This has those swappable style fingers, just like this. Exactly, and I mean exactly the same as the wing kit, so you can use the Master Grade Wing EW accessories, etc. with these kits, which is awesome. And that thumb is just on a ball joint, just like so. As you'd expect with a Master Grade, we do have an opening cockpit. It just pulls down like so. This can be a bit tough. You need to grab it either side and pull. And there we go. Pilot figure deep inside. Next up, the ab crunch is quite basic on this. which is usually the case with older kits. There is side to side. Actually, the side to side is very, very nice. The rotation here is quite basic too. It's just from there to there. That is it. Around here on the backpack, we do have some moving parts. The bits that attach these here, they can move up and down, rotate on the spot like so. These thrusters can move up and down like that. And these lower ones can also tilt up and down as well. There they are all the way down. And there is all the way up. Front skirting armor is just a pair of little flaps. It doesn't move too much, just there, down to there. This side skirting armor also is only up and down. You're not going to get much out of that. No back and forward. And around on the butt flap, they are tiny and don't move. We do have a bit of a drop down mechanism inside the crotch here. So that moves down like that. So this leg is up, that leg is down, so it extends it a little bit and gives you more of a kick up to the front like so. So that's one hell of a kick. Not much of a butt flap on this guy, so I expect a lot out to the back, and that is exactly what I got. And let's check out the splits. So once again, these do not move back out of the way, so that's as high as they go. There is one leg, there is the second, and we almost get the full splits. The bend at the knee has this absolutely awesome moving knee gimmick. Look at that. That is pretty awesome. Move over to the other side where the lighting might be a bit better. And there we go. Look at that. Just move with the bend at the knee. That is so cool. And that is one hell of a knee bend. At the ankle then, it's a simple pair of ball joints. One up here, one down here. The toe can move down and up like so. And as for that functional movement on the ground, which is what we can get out of this leg without raising it off the ground. There it is all the way to the front. Very, very nice with that bend at the toe. There it is flat on the ground all the way to the front. There it is all the way to the back. So pretty good, not great. And there it is side to side. So that could be a little bit better for those wide-legged poses, but it's okay. Sadly though, the Duel Gundam right here is one of those kits that when it comes to the articulation, the overall movement we get is worse than the sum of its parts. We do have a lot of nice joints like the elbows and knees, but it's let down so much by the waist, ankles, and torso that it ends up being a little bit, well, flaccid in the articulation department, sadly. So now moving on into the accessories, and if you're someone who really loves a whole lot of stuff in your Gunpla box, then you love the Master Grade Duel Gundam. It comes with so much. Of course, that is all the armor that makes up the Assault Shroud. On top of that, we've got the standard Gundam loadout of a pair of beam sabers, beam rifle, and shield. On top of that, we also have the Gaikotsu rail bazooka, Shiva railgun over here on the shoulder armor. This has those swappable hands in holding, trigger finger holding, widespread dynamic fists, your typical action-based adapter, and my nomination for worst haircut on a Gundam male character ever is Zack Duel. Seriously, poor bastard must have lost a bet or something with that hairdo. Oof. So as for the weapons and equipment, first up we've got a pair of pretty standard beam sabers with pink beams. These slot into the fingers, simple as peg into slot, fingers into the hand, like that. Oh man, fix that finger. There we go. Better! There is a quick example of what one of them looks like attached. When they're not in use, just pop out the beam like so, slot them on up on the shoulder like that, and that is what one looks like stored away. Next up then in here we've got the high energy beam rifle, a pretty simple looking beam rifle right here, all in grey. We do have a clear part for the lens. I did stick the sticker in under that, so you still get that clear part awesomeness, but still the color too. And this particular beam rifle does have a built-in grenade launcher, so the grenade can be disconnected just like so. Plunk. This attaches on with that trigger finger set of fingers. We do have a left and a right, so he can be a lefty. And there is a bit of a quick look at what it looks like with that beam rifle attached. Next up then in here we've got this fairly sizable Gaikotsu rail bazooka. So this once again is all in grey. There is no clear parts this time around, but we do have stickers there for both of those lenses. Once again, this does use the same kind of trigger fingers. I'm going to pop it into the left hand just for a bit of variation. So there is an example of what that looks like attached. This is a fairly nice and very big bazooka, looking pretty cool right there. Next up then in here is the shield. This is in matching colors to the mobile suit itself. It's pretty much what we would have seen with the Strike Gundam version remaster. I'm pretty sure this may have come out first though. Got this little handle down here that can be removed and reattached on just like this, so it can be held with the hand. We have this rotating segment right here, which can move around like this, move in like this. So that does mean you can use that with the right arm or the left arm, whichever you like. And seeing as this is already, sorry about that. Seeing as this is already equipped on the left-hand side with this, let's put it on the opposite arm, then it usually goes on. So this just attaches into that peg hole you can see there on the back of the arm, and then just flips forward like so. So if I did have some fingers on here, I would be able to attach that into the hands, but that is enough of an example right there, methinks. It will be going on once again once the armor is on, and speaking of which, let's get it attached. So in general, the attachment of the armor is pretty straightforward and fairly simple. It all just clips on easily enough, the legs just slots on with no extra effort. As for the arms, you do have to separate the armor before popping them on. Sleeve section first, the rear armor part on afterwards. Up at the shoulders, you just clip them on either side. The one with the railgun has a cap to go on top. Round back, we've just got a upper and lower section that attaches to the backpack, and I did leave the front and rear skirting armors to last because these are notoriously loose. There's only a very tiny little slot holding each of these on, and they are quite prone to falling off. But in general, it holds on pretty well, and it looks awesome. So besides just looking awesome, the Assault Shroud has added a couple of extra features to this. Of course, first is the Shiva railgun that can move up and down, rotate all the way around. Up in its left-hand shoulder then, we've got this opening slot with some missiles in it, just like we would have seen with Buster or Heavy Arms. The armor in the chest can open up, so you still have access to that cockpit. When the skirting armor isn't falling off, we do have some moving skirting flaps here. So these move a little bit. The ones around back move a lot. Flappy, flappy, flappy. The Assault Shroud adds a whole bunch of extra thrust back here and this little moving segment down here. So that can move down like that, as well as up like that. So once again, we are going to check out the articulation now with the Assault Shroud armor on. I'm going to stick to my usual rule of if something falls off during the articulation test, it stays off so you can see what is loose and what isn't. So in general, the head hasn't been affected too much from this, so you won't be spinning it around as readily as you were before, but it's pretty much the same. Well, I just pressed on the butt flap and there it goes. Be careful, try and grab it up here, but you're staying off. Up the shoulders here, it is a lot bulkier, so that is not spinning that full 360 anymore, and doesn't really move in and out as much as it used to. The flappy up here doesn't move as much as it used to. Oh! I wasn't even touching those and they fell off. That's why I showed the articulation on those earlier on, because I knew he'd be down to his tighty-whities pretty quickly. Anyway, we still have that full 360 spin right there. As for that bend at the elbow, it hasn't been affected too much for such a bulky arm. It never had too much forward and back ab rotation before, so nothing much has changed right there. This side to side is still as awesome as it was. Gonna have to break the rules a little bit here because I want to test out the kicks with these armor bits back on. Don't expect them to stay on after doing this, but I'm gonna hold it there and see. So that does block the kick up more than we would have seen before. There is the bend at the knee, and that is not affected by this armor here because it has been very nicely designed. Pretty cool. So back on with the butt flap armor so we can test that kick out to the back. I'm gonna try and hold it in place while I do this. And there we go, there's the kick out to the back, and it hasn't been blocked too much. Split should be the same, so I'm not going to test it out. And back on the ground for that side to side, back and forward. Oh, it has been blocked quite a bit to the front. Also, little flappy down here. So the last test we've got in here is the action base adapter. Does it do its job? Let's find out. So that should clip on down here like that. Clipped on very nicely. Grabbing an action base, slotting him in there. And even though he is quite a bulky boy, he's not going anywhere. That is a solid enough action base adapter. It may drop off to the back if a lot of weight is applied to it, but besides that, it does the job fine. Anyway, so that right there is it for the review. I love these Gundam Seed kits, just like I love the Gundam Wing kits. These are some old school, well, not really old school, but somewhat old, awesome master grades that all kind of use the same sort of parts, giving them that nice interchangeable aspect. I almost forgot to rank this thing right here. This, as far as I'm concerned, just like a lot of kits from these lines, is silver tier. This is exactly what I expect from a master grade. This is solid and awesome. That ABS frame means nothing is going anywhere, but it is a bit lacking when it comes to tech. It's very basic and about as bare bones as a master grade comes, but it does know more than it needs to and does all of that great. The accessories are awesome, the assault shroud is pretty cool, the front and back skirting armors are notorious for falling off. They will fall off a lot on you, but if you hold them in place while you move it around, that should not be an issue. Once again, do not let that silver tier ranking make you think this is a bad kit. It's not, it's a fantastic kit. I highly recommend it. It just means that it is fairly bare bones compared to modern day master grades, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you like your kits solid, not gonna fall apart on you while you play around with them, then this might be one of the ones that you want. That and the fact that it can be used with other seed kits as an out-of-box kit bash. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble a bit now. It's an awesome kit. If you're thinking of getting one, I highly recommend that you do. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time.